Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to part 23 of the TOS Enterprise build. Today we're actually going to start assembling the base. I got the dome painted all up like a alien planet, and I got the wooden base part ready, so let's get assembling it. Well, hello everyone, and welcome back. She is clear coated and looks good. Everything's sealed down nice. I had some silvering on little areas, but all that silvering went away. These decals, you know, even though the originals were so brittle, especially these here, the rest I didn't find too brittle. Maybe some of these bigger registries, but that's kind of expected with the bigger, you know, especially the registry on the top up front. But these I didn't notice to be too brittle putting down, but boy, these were, as we saw in the last video of how I could just scrape them and they would shatter. But yeah, we went through and replaced both nacelles, and we redid these, and we actually found out that we could actually put a decal over top of a decal, and without any real after effects that are bad. You know, the only thing this did is it put a, you know, the other one was just a hair, smaller, and you kind of have a that maroonish red border of the color of the original, but I kind of like that. It gives it a little three-dimension. All in all, if I never told anybody, they would never know. And I am liking the brighter red better. The yellows was the big point. The yellow parts, the little boomerang part on the old one was just not there. And these yellows are so much more brilliant looking. And once the clear coat went down, they sucked to the paint to the finish so well, they almost look painted. And we're going to have some storms, and it's hot in here, and then we're going to have some stormy weather today. But we got the base painted. Painted it up as a fictitious little planet. It's a little kind of 60s spirally kind of thing, but that's okay. It's just giving you an idea and adding some of that 60s color kind of vibe to it. It works for me. And that'll give it a planet. Plus it's going to have emblems on it. Towards the front it's going to have the Federation globe. Then here's going to have the, I think I have 3. If I don't, I know I have at least 2 that we'll put on each side, and then back here we might leave alone. But I think I think the photo etch piece comes with 3 of them. Let me look. So we might get a couple little thunder boomers. But yeah, there's the registry just like on the top, and then there's the planet thing, which we'll put there. And then this is the supplement photo etch set. Yeah, it's getting windy. I hear my curtains flapping around. And then this is the engine grills, and those give you, there's at least 1. I thought there was 2 more, or at least 1 more somewhere else. Oh yeah, there's 2 more. So we got the 3 crests there that we can use to do the other 3 sides. Not sure what all these little symbols are for, if it's different rankings or departments you're in. Not sure. Somebody out there probably knows. I don't get that in deep. I just like the shows and like the ships. And then here's our wooden part of the base that we're about to put it on to. I got this pre-wired and in there, so at least the power's coming from the jack and going across all these, and this will be the power switch for the entire thing. And then we have our, well, we got our nacelles, yellow cap, and then our light for the shuttle bay, the ceiling light, and that's what it should be. Ceiling light is the white, blue is of course blue for the nacelles, the yellow is for the end caps, red is constant power, and the black is our negative. Alright, so we got to get this on. I drilled holes here. That's how I'm going to tack it onto the wood. and then I'm gonna just paint those a gold or a brass or something to dress them up. But we got to get this base on first. The problem with all these wires are different lengths. It makes it a pain in the butt to get through these little holes. I see you, black wire, you're just hanging out there. Can we get, yeah. And then we got to make sure everything's pulled evenly. So, now there's nothing to it but to put this down and try to feed these wires. I put a hole here which will be covered by the base when it goes down, and it pokes out here so we can get some the wiring into the switches, which have worked out much better than having to drill straight down and then router all the way over to my jack. The jack's just sitting there. That way I can still pull it out. And of course I can't get a nut in there, so we'll just epoxy it in there really good. Let's see if I can do this in camera. Maybe try to feed it with the ship upside down first and then flip. Keep the ship right side up. Should be interesting. I don't know if it'd be easier for you to see if I put you this way. So always got to watch out. This ship's so long. And that came out really nice. The sensor dome with the little phaser piece. Okay, so maybe we'll do it this way. Let's try it. I got those kind of twisted together. Let's see if we can get it to feed down this hole. Once we get her out without snagging too much, because I know something's going to snag. There we go. There we go. That's kind of what we're going to have. Alright, now we got to do the old... Actually, no, we should get it centered on the base and then hooked up before we even start messing with these wires. We're going to have to flip it back upside down again to wire it. But first we got to get her attached base to base. There we go. Still gotta go over this way. Now I'm 5. And now I'm 5. That's close enough. Close enough. It's fun moving something around on a carpet. Alright. Well, I think we can go with this front one. This should be the fun part, because I want to pre-start it. We're not going to move it all the way down. And as long as I make sure this side's 5, the other side should be 5. I think it can come to me a little more. Check you again. Yep, that's what we needed. Where did I go with that tray? There we go. Try to get her locked into the grid. If I had some nice screws, I was thinking screwing it, but I don't have any nice screws that I want to use, so but being that this is a very soft wood, it's pretty much going on there pretty good. Yeah, we got a good stable. Oh, come on, I had you in a... So what I'm trying to do is stick the nail in and kind of pre-start it, pushing it. But they want to play slide. And see, that's what I'm afraid of. They're not going to sit flat. Okay, she's on there. I just cut out the photo etch parts. But this is kind of, she's on there really nice and good, and it looks, I'm happy with it. I'll just dab a little color there. I don't know why. Probably me pulling that back out to get these nails to go down flatter. So I'll just dab that with a little orange, red, and you'll never see it. But yeah, and then these badges here, we'll probably have sitting up like that. A little higher. I'll see where I like them. I think we're going to keep them kind of low. But it's perfect that I got 3 of them. And then on this side I'll have the Federation planet with the little leaves, branches that go up around it. And then here we'll have the same registry that's on top of the saucer here. But I still have it attached to the full-on photo etch sheet. But we'll put that on the bottom of the base there like that. But yeah, what I did is I used for the base, for the dome, I used the what is this, Anita's wine color, which is a nice wine color, and then I used these cheapo Hisco whatever acrylic paints. I used a vermilion, which is kind of an orange, pinkish kind of salmon almost kind of color. Then I have an orange yellow, and then I had an orange. And those were my cloud stripes, and then I did splatters, so you get like spots. You know, kind of trying to give it that Jupiter vibe. But it gives it the idea of a planet. And it's an alien planet, so we'll figure it's some type of gas giant. But it works good. It goes with everything. And then once we get all the brass pieces on there, I think it's really just placing them on there. But these were really cheap, I think, off of eBay, or did I get them off of Amazon? I think I found them on eBay. You get a whole box of them of different colors, and it has all these wild, orange yellows and weird, vermilion. I guess that's what you say that is. All kinds of weird colors, which are great for certain things, And at the price for a whole bunch of them, it's worth it. So, now we got to flip her up and let's get some power to the ship, and then I'm going to call it a day for the weekend. Alright, so we're just left to soldering this, which we're going to want to put something over top of this. So if we have any broops, we don't get any solder drips on our... Actually, I should leave that a little tall until I solder that powder on there. We don't want any solder drips on the model. But yeah, it's always good to lay something over top. I mean, I'm going to try to solder this way, but I do have to hit these. And another good thing is I'm going to shove a little bit of the extra back in. But here we don't need all this. But I'll keep these because these are good jumpers between two LED strips. You might have one here and here, and you need little jumpers or whatever. So always keep those for little shorties. Nothing wrong with them. There we go. Now we can see a little more. Sorry about that, folks. Not always looking at what the camera's seeing. And I apologize for that. Alright. Maybe we need to get stuck in there. So we need to soften that one up and see if you'll poke through it. Yeah, it still wants to be stormy. It's supposed to be rainy all day today, I think. But one heck of a start off. I think we got it there. No. It's like there's a big notch there, so it should go right into that notch and solder itself in there. There's a lot of wire there taking away the heat, and I think that's what it is. That's better. I feel a little more confident with that. I'm not just soldering the tip of it. Okay, so there's one. It's our main hot power, which is getting soldered directly to the power switch. Now, how do we want it to go? Where's my phone? Let's see if I can pull up any TOS consoles. Do I have any saved already? Or at least ones that I can see of the bridge. Thought I had more photos because of doing the bridge setup, but I can't quite see those. I'll have to do a Google search. They just pretty much have them in a random whatever. So I'll just do them however I want. Because there they got a black, white, and a green, and a red, and a yellow, and a blue, and then there's a black, green, red, blue, yellow, red, you know, it's whatever you want it to be. So we'll go red. Will be the next thing you'd want to turn on. Blue. Then white and yellow. That's how I think we're going to do it. So red, blue, so we'll go with the blue. And then the cells would be the next thing I'd want to turn on. Let's give that a 10. There's my solder. There it is. And you're going to switch right there. Just trying to make a little hook. If I can get a pair of tweezers to squeeze that hook together. There we go. That looks really good. Actually, we should get your red one down there first. Actually, it doesn't matter. Get you two guys tucked in there. Here comes the rain again. And I think we'll hit the negative, since that's straightforward. Over. And bending those and looping those wires around gives it almost like a mechanical connection too. So if something pulls it, it has a little bit of metal wire strength so they stay together. That one worked really good. We can shove the extra wire back up in this hole. There we go. Sweet. Do that with all this too. Especially the blue. That way we're not cramming in here. Sweet. And then we're going to do the white next, right? Yep. And that way we have a weird colored one out to the end. See, and that's why I put that blanket over there, because it's going to dictate where you want to tin it. And again, make another little hook. Didn't have to do it with the black as far as tinning it, because it's a solid core wire, not braided like these. Wish I could see. There we go. Squeeze that together. Starter. Go. We're down to the last one. I could shove this little extra white up in there too. This is coming along really good, and then we'll eventually, last wire, we'll JB weld the rest of the, we'll end that in, since I can't. Sometimes I'd rather a big pocket and then leave a notch that I can put a nut and washer on the end of that, but JB weld will work. It's going to be pretty much left plugged in. It's not like I'm going to be unplugging and plugging and unplugging and plugging. That JB weld really bonds really well. To all kinds of different things, wood, plastic, metal. I mean, I bonded with the NX or the EVA pod. I had to bond wood to plastic with it, and to give a stable base, a thing for the rod for the EVA pod to sit in, and it worked great. And I think what I'm using is the steel, the JB Weld steel. Kind of has a little bit of a fiber. I think that's what it's, why they call it steel. steel contains glass oxide. So it must have a little bit of fiberglass or something in it that helps it. Once it cures, it bonds it, gives it a little strength, kind of like adding straw to mud and making a mud brick. That straw actually gives it strength. Alright, I think that's it. Boy, we just got to plug an adapter and I got to go run and grab a power adapter to test it that way before we flip her up. You know what I can do for a quick test? Let's just do this. I'm going to have to hold things. So this will at least give me a quick idea. Sure if I have things on or off. And I can't see any of the lights. Oh, we're way too low in voltage. That's why. I need 9 volts, not 3. That'd be why. Nothing's kicking on. I saw it. That's good enough. There's no way I'll hold that without bumping into the tube. Alright. So we can flip her up right side up for now. And then later on I will go through and mix up some epoxy for the jack. I don't think she's major. I don't even remember which side it was. It must have been the other side. Well, it's not my filming. I always call this the filming side because that's the side that the original was shot on. All scenes were shot. And that's why you always see it, like in the beginning when they're just going around the planet, it's always coming from this way. Because this was the filming side. The other side, like I said, they had holes where the wires just kind of came up. So they'd be kind of hidden, but once they hit where the ship would hide it, they would just run them along the side. There was holes with duct tape on it. All the saucers detail was done top bottom, but the nacelles, this side's no less detailed than this side. This side's detailed well, but this side wasn't, because they always shot it from this way, or straight ahead, or from behind. If they did, the rare times they did have it come from looking like it's coming from this side, it was actually this side flipped in reverse, and then they had a decal that would allow the decal to look readable from flipping it. Yay, they're working. There we go. And if I hit, that's the main power, so that's going to turn on pretty much everything. That switch. And then that should turn on my, I don't know if you're going to be able to see them. Nope. That's turning on my chiller grills. And that's turning on my shuttle bay light, ceiling light. That's awesome. And then there it turns on my yellow caps, balls on the ends of the nacelles. So we're good. We're working good. Like I said, these are glowing a little bit. These look good. You still get the warm white, even with the white paint. The facades look great. And with their Lights working on the top, but that's it. We're pretty much, it's wired. I just got to epoxy that jack in there and get the badges on it, and we're done. And she's officially will be done. Can I spin you? I'm going to have to pull you this way so the nacelles clear that. And I like that I can still rotate her. But there it is. The base looks good. Well, hello. We're getting there. Just putting the badges on. We got this down nice and tight and snug. Everything's working. The switches are in. They're all working. Just got to color those switches to what colors I want. Anything else? No. I mean, we got all the clear parts that we didn't want to get sprayed with the clear coat on there, like this dome and that dome, and these squares. The white squares are on the top that you can't see. This camera's out of the way. But that's alright, we're working on the base. So we're putting right now we're putting the registries down. I'm putting the USS Enterprise, and then here's the NCC 1701 badge. So I got this part down. Got that lined up. So now we got to put this one down, which is going to sit like that. The check is going to go with the T. And I just want to figure out how far away I want to keep it though. I want to bring it up more like it is on the ship, just kind of more like that. Or do I want to bring it down just a hair? Space it out, and I think I'll do that right there. Kind of leave the same spacing here as what's there. So let's super glue her. This one went down. I already cleaned all the burrs off from the sprue. So that's good. And I'm using a thicker stick CA so it doesn't try to ooze out everywhere. And then I'm taking a toothpick and kind of, as quickly as possible. That's why I hate super glue. It's great that it dries quick, but sometimes it's like I could use a little more time. Sometimes if you keep it moving though, it doesn't dry out as quick. But then you're thinning it, so it's going to want to dry out pretty quick. So get my spacing, get my check, get it centered. That looks actually pretty good. I get a little bit there. I'm hoping the gunk out will get rid of that. That's not too bad. Let's see if I have a debug or whatever they call it, uncure. Let's see if I can get the uncure on a Q-tip. Clean that off. If not, I can sand it, but I'd rather not because then I got to sand the whole thing. And I kind of like that it left that shiny. So let's see if this de-uncure will uncure that. Takes it off your hand, so yeah, it's doing it. I see it also likes to take the black off. I just touched it just a hair. Not enough to make a huge difference. I can probably hit that with a little bit of the stain again. Well, that's the case. We'll get rid of the black stain that's on here. Or is it going to make it more of a mess? Can't see. You never have light in the area you need it. Wow, look at that. That completely cleaned the stain that I got on there. that is a wonderful little find out that super glue CA glue remover will remove the stain from that and left the paint perfectly fine. These nails I'm going to hit with a little chrome gold. But here's our Federation symbol. I want to kind of see where I want to put that. I think we're going to kind of do that right there. Yeah, it's like always trying to keep the super glue far enough from the edge that you don't get it to spill out between it or out from under it, but you need to get it to the edge, because otherwise you have like a photo etch with an edge that kind of sticks up. So it's always finding that happy medium. So we're going right about there. Too bad. Usually I screw up some type of alignment. Not bad at all. Sometimes I like to paint these. This probably would have been a cool thing to paint, but I'm going to kind of keep it in that museum look. You know, like see here we have a little bit of edges sticking up, because there's no way to get anything in there now that it cured. That's good enough. Just gotta be careful when you polish it and dust it and stuff. That's all. Which you should be anyway. All right. That is pretty cool. If I can spin it. I have JB welding that jack. See if that gets you an idea of what's going on. That works great for me. I think we'll might as well do it now while we got it showing, because we're going to keep spinning it side to side. But here's those chrome markers. There's a little ball in there. There it goes. That I like to hear rattle. Is this the 1mm? Yeah. Because I have a 1mm tip and I have a 3mm tip. There we go. We'll make sure these are stirred up pretty good. These I think I got on Amazon. Just like the Maltol. I think the Maltol's a little better, but these work great for the efficiency of it being in a pen form. So we can just a little liquid gold, and then it'll pull it into that brassy bronze look, or brassy goldish look. Yeah. And it's not as shiny now until it cures. So, all right. So we just got the 3 badges to do. Now I'm going to go with you on this side. Now let's see where we want them. I think we'll go with the tops just cutting into this orange stripe like the other one. I think if we do simple that. Now here we're definitely going to sneak a little super glue off to these tips to keep them down, because they will want to grab and snag a whole bunch of things. Probably should put you on a pair of tweezers. Do it like that. looking good, that's looking good. Guess nothing to it but to do it, and don't you move. We ain't got time, we gotta go for it. Kind of roll your finger off. That works. Yep, that worked fine. Beautiful. Yep, and all the points are down pretty nice. We'll work on each side. Usually I'll go back and do one thing at a time, like put the badges down and then color the nails. I think I can get a little bit of that nail head there. Let's get this one going. I kind of picked the best nails as far as the heads, shapes, and bumps and stuff. But I do kind of like its rustic kind of look, like old school trophy makers would make or something. I think we're going to go with these two circle things here. Follow the same premises. Let's go for it before it starts sitting up. I touched a gold nail. I tapped it and then didn't at least rub it around. There we go. That one looks good too. Yeah, I gotta go touch this gold up. This thing does not want to spin. Actually, it didn't really mess the gold up. Alright. Make sure there's none on my hands. It's an alcohol based, I think these pens are. And, I know the Maltol says it is, which I thought it was a lacquer. Unless they make a lacquer version. But whatever I have works great. Worked great on the Terminator. I still gotta finish him. I got a lot of black to paint and all the little crevices that are supposed to look like, you know, just open gaps. Like here's one of his lower leg and slash feet. And I already started painting in between the pistons for his feet. So it gives a little shading in his feet. And then we gotta do, oh, I started doing this. All this has got to get blackened out. One thing is, I don't know if it's the Maltol or the All-Clad that just always stays a little bit tacky. You don't put imprints in it, but it just always feels a little tacky. And this thing's been curing for months. I haven't worked on him in a long time. But I gotta fix him because I had him standing up and he fell. And it's just the way these two lower, there's two lower pistons that go in here and go up to here that are just pushing his legs too far back. But he's looking good. But we'll do more videos on him once I start working on him again. He's fell a couple times, but if he has a couple bings and dings, it's not going to matter. It's going to add to the damage to the T800. Yeah, I'm really liking how those caps came out. Alright, next It's starting to want to cure, so we gotta move. Sweet. Eventless. Nothing came squishing out. Points are down. Badges are on. We are done with the badges. And I think on top of just painting those, this ship is completely and 100% done. TOS Enterprise. Ship I've been wanting to build for a while. I've had her in my stock, and she's really not a bad build. I was comparing it to the refit and the NX-01. It's quite a challenge, but they have a lot more. The NX-01, I had a cargo bay here that I could build. I had the hangar bay that I could build. I had I think that's it as far as massive photo etch. Refit, you got a shuttle bay that's like half the size of the ship. So, and it's in stages. Like you have the deck launching area, and then it drops down the elevator and drops down again to the storage. It's a lot of photo etch if you have the photo etch kit for it. So that takes a long time to build. This one goes together really nice and fairly quick. There's a couple little quirks and things in the saucers that I have in my videos that I mentioned that you want to look for. There's the Terminator piston that I was talking about. This one here, and these are metal, they're brass. Okay. So I am so happy. All we got is the simple coloring of the nail head. Kind of make it look a little more presentable. Beautiful. That's it. Base is pretty much done. Let me touch that up. Try to be careful not to touch any of that black. Whew. It's got a smell to it. I'll even use this Q-tip right here. All I need is a little bit of the black color. I don't even need the gel. It's a gel kind of stain. Probably should use a pointed Q-tip. Do I have an old pointed Q-tip? Yep. Because then this way I can be a little more accurate on how I apply it. The other end's still good, so I'm not throwing that out. I can use that for another, oops. But I'm going to let that sit for a second. Let's try to close this up without getting any in my hands. I forgot there was a couple little areas back here that need a little color. That works. I could probably take this off now. That JB weld should be on there. Oh yeah. Slide you off because I put a little bit on the bottom so I wouldn't get a whole bunch of JB weld on my mats. Oh yeah, that's cured. There we go, and our 2.1 or 2.5 millimeter jack is in there. Nice and good. And the nice thing is, I think I had a little chip out and the JB Weld filled the chip out, and since it's pretty much black, they filled it right in. That's awesome. So killed two birds with one stone. But the gold nails look fine. They fall into a kind of photo etchy color. All our badges are on. So yeah, I probably should still let that sit. It says 3 minutes, but I don't think I waited 3 minutes last time. You have to be careful with these chrome golds and chrome pens. They take quite a bit to cure. They'll be tacky for a while. I'm really happy with that, how the photo etch looks on there. And it was so much better adding this wooden base to the dome to be able to add this here. I mean, I could have done it here and then maybe put this on the back and then maybe put two emblems on the side, one on each side, or even had the registry here and then put the Federation thing here. But I like that it's not overly covering my planet kind of, you know, dome too much. So that works. And it gives a little more something to these dome bases. And it gives you a place for your switches too. It's like, okay, I would have had switches, everything on this little dome, it would have been so cluttered with things. Where here I can have these off to the side and this off to the side. It looks better, you know, having your jack up in here, or if you run a cable that has a jack on the end. So it's just so much things that you would fill up this dome. Yeah, because I would have had a jack which has to go a certain height because otherwise it'll hit. So it's got to be like at least up to here because the length of them will hit. I've done that before. I drilled them so low and then they end up hitting when you sit down. And then I would have had to put 4 switches somewhere. And they have to be up kind of high too. So you would have had like a switch and a jack all the way up to here. Then I wouldn't really have any room unless I put, you know, depending on where you put the switches. But still, it takes up a lot of space. And adding a wooden base. I'll eventually think of other ways to get these to mount on here. Some nice screws would help, but then you could always color them in like the planet. Or I was also thinking routing a trench for the, you know, drawing out this circumference and then routing out a trench so it can sit in the base. It don't have to be deep, and then you can epoxy it. But then I'm like, how do I epoxy it? Unless I epoxy it from out here, you know, I'd have to stick epoxy in the trench and then squish it down in, I guess. So this was my next quick solution, is just to make it look like a old school handcrafted plaque where they tacked, you know, like tags and stuff on. Okay, I'm back. And let's color these buttons. I'm going to use Tamiya acrylics because they're a little more durable. Craft acrylics I would have to seal really, really good. This is all the on position, and I have the up as the off position. It would have been much nicer to spray these, but I don't know how you would spray them without like getting all over. We'll let that go. I'll try to hit the sides. Like I said, it's going to take a couple coats. Got to do it this way, let it dry, then flip the switch the other way. Alright, now we'll do the blue. I mean, I could have left those black, and it wouldn't have been a real big deal, but I thought it was kind of neat. try to pull in a little bit of the console. Anything I hit on here, I can just scrape off. Let's try the blue. Let's try to do that edge first. I probably can get away with just having the tops of the rockers painted, but switches that they have are completely colored. So that's what we're going to do. Alright, we're done with the blue. The blue covered quick because it's a dark color anyway. Now, to me, a yellow should be interesting. Oh no, it's supposed to be white and yellow. I am an idiot. So, find a clean part of this paper towel. And give it a quick blow it out. The right piece yellow. I think everything's going to take a couple coats anyways, because all of them are trying to go over black. Yeah, the yellow didn't do that bad. Being so thin. I'm not going to worry about closing that. That needs to... Now, can I get this bottle open? My Tamiya white paint is a gloss, and I don't want gloss, but I have Model Masters. And I don't think this thing has a bottle size. Nope, of course not. But the same with these Model Masters. I think that's another reason why I went to the craft acrylics, because it's just a flip top, very easy. This is a pretty good thick white paint, so. But it's pulling up the yellow. Which, like I said, I expected. But not horribly. It's covering a little pretty much. And I think the second coat might do the trick. I think the white covered better than all the rest. Yeah. I can't remember if that cures as fast as the model, as the Tamiya's. Probably not. It might. The blue's taking its time, and the yellow. I think our red is set for another coat, and then we should be good. Yeah, that's definitely giving it a Star Trek-y switch vibe. Okay. Buttons are painted. And I hit it with a clear coat, so I wanted to mask around it, because I wanted to hit it with like a, I think I did a satin, yeah. So let's get rid of. And I just lightly taped newspaper up here so we didn't get any overspray, since the ship is done with a mat. And we can just leave those pieces of tape on there. So, let's unveil. Get this one off first if we can. And get this newspaper out of the way. Get that out of the way. What is that white hazing? That might be the clear coat. That one's a little tough to get to. I don't want to scrape at the wood. Boy, I want to say that's it for her. She is done. Yeah, everything on the ship is completely on there. I clean up a little bit of the white paint when I put these in. I see on some edges I got a little white paint that just curled up as it scraped going down. That's the only one I remember seeing. Other than that, it looks good. Yeah, but she is done. She's officially done. We'll do a reveal on the next episode. Let's try to give her... Oh, I'll turn it this way. She's still sticking to the mat. We'll get you in position of how you're going to sit on this base. That's how she's going to be. And the switches are here. But to me, that's good enough to get the idea. Really, I'm not going to be flicking the switches on and off all the time. Most of the time I'm going to probably leave that power on, and when I hit my overall power strips that turn everything on, it'll come on. If I want to show people stuff, that's probably when I'll hit the switches. But having them colored gives it the idea, you know, will give you the, oh yeah, that's like the switches on their console. So I kind of like it. And the colors just happen to correspond with what color lights I'm using. The red is the overall power, the blue goes for the blue nacelles, the white is the light in the shuttle bay, the ceiling light. Because I like the ability to be able to shut that ceiling light off so you can see the lights in the shuttlecraft better and the other lights in the observation towers and stuff. And then the yellow does our balls at the end here. So yeah, so folks, I hope you enjoyed this. This was a great build. Very nice ship. I definitely recommend getting it. It's way easier than the refit to do, because the refit just has so much and so many things. Like even in the cells, like you just got here, and those two parts. For that, it's like you got that piece that goes in here that you got a gap on the refit. You got those end fins, you got the other fins, you got your chiller grills, you know, that you got to do, and there's just a lot to it, and especially with the shuttle bay and that, and if you get the photo etch kit for it, there's a lot of stuff photo etch that's got to go in there, especially on all those little beams that go up where the walkways are. Then you got an arboretum to build. If you get the photo etch, you'll have a rec deck to build. If you get also with that photo etch kit, you have the officers' lounge to build. It's just a lot. Plus the photo etch that goes on the outside, like the hatch for the docking on the back of the where the captain's lounge is. You know, you put a photo etch piece for that docking bay there. You got photo etch pieces for the docking bays. You know, anywhere on the ship. And also on the refit, I did the opening where Spock comes out in that spaceship, or in that spacesuit, when he goes and sees V'ger. I have that on my refit. So, and then that's just the building, and then the refit's got all the multicolored Aztecing, and you know, especially if you go ahead and do the 5-color. But I think there's some good decals out, Aztecing decals for the 350 refit. But I like painting them. I like that where it gives you the iridescent where they disappear and then you look at an angle and they show up, and I don't think you get that, or you could get something like that from a decal. So that's where I think the painting it yourself is the better way to go. And I still have another refit style to build, and that's going to be the A. My actual refit, I want to do the damage part. So I got to do research because I want an accurate research, an accurate description of the damage from Wrath of Khan, because which was Star Trek 2. I think it's Star Trek 3 where they sneak off with the Enterprise. You see more damage on this side. And I don't recall the Reliant hitting it on that side. It hits it across here, hits it across here. There's a hit here somewhere, one underneath the saucer. I believe that's the main extent that you see in Star Trek 2. But then Star Trek 3, you see it coming out of that station, and then there's like all these big hits over here. So I think what they're saying is she got in another battle before making it home after the Wrath of Khan. Like they might have ran into some Klingons, you know, or something. I don't know, but definitely as far as the damage you see during the film of Star Trek 2, yeah, you don't see all the damage on this side. It's all on this side. So I want to get it accurate of where each damage piece is, how big it is. I was thinking about just doing the neck and the main engineering hall one and skipping the ones up here, but I think it needs those up there. The one that's somewhere on the nacelle on the front here, I think, got hit. And then there's one up underneath, one or two up underneath the saucer. But we'll figure all that out and do that, and I'll definitely film that because I don't have a videos at all of the build of that, because I built that before I decided to do this. I have lots of pictures, which I think I did put up at one time. I'm not sure. But we'll do a thing on the damage, and then we'll do a reveal on that. So that's why I haven't done like a reveal or a showing of that ship, because I want to go through that with you, the damage and how we can make damage, and then do a reveal on it. But here she is, the TOS Enterprise again. Hope you enjoyed, and next video we'll do a full reveal on it. Thanks for watching.